bright colors running down the path.
The Wasatch Front Hills are alive with the sounds and sights of music.
Oh, there's so much more.
Music made, played, sold, and listened to right here.
I was weak, turn the cheek.
Different sounds, different styles, but all part of a sort of Utah music explosion.
Oh yeah, it's definitely changing. It's broadening. The artists are now, there's more talent just in the city. I think that probably comes from the growth of the city.
There are more bands to choose from, playing on any given night at any number of clubs in the valley.
There's a larger interest in it than I think there ever has been, because now other bands get to see bands get on stage finally. There's been some record contracts that have been handed out.
Until recently, you were hard-pressed to find local CDs for sale. Today, more groups are able to make their own CDs, and many stores now have a local music section. Radio station X96 even offers X-Mart, an entire store of local music goods, complete with CDs, T-shirts, and other memorabilia. And several stations are now competing for the Salt Lake sound when it comes to playing and promoting it.
I hear what you're saying.
Listeners have made Clover a hot commodity for certain Salt Lake radio stations. Airplay and word of mouth have even generated several sold-out shows at local clubs for the Utah-based trio. At their core, Clover is really just a bunch of hometown kids with dreams of making, playing, and selling good music in Utah.
I think that if we were in a bigger city, we'd just be another band. Here, there's a great scene going on, but in LA, there's so many bands. If you play a show, no one's going to clap. They just happen to be in the place.
And all three members agree on one thing. They will never leave Utah and its small-town feel just to make it big. They say they can do that right here.
I mean, it's tough. It's obviously be tougher here because people wouldn't think Salt Lake City, Utah is the next Seattle or Los Angeles or New York.
Oh my, doesn't get much better than that.
But experts say Utah is not being overlooked in the music department. As director of music at 107.5 The End, Dom Casual is in daily contact with music industry people from all across America.
They like what they're hearing. You know, there's a buzz about some of the bands that are coming out of Salt Lake.
The earth cries, I join it. Time ties the tight knots.
John Kavanaugh is part of Salt Lake's musical buzz. Previously a vocalist for the group Ali Ali Oxenfree, John is now composing and performing solo.
I've made a living over the last 3 years of just doing music in Salt Lake, so it is possible. But I know that if I'm ever going to make it to that next level, I will have to take off.
John says the next level for him is touring, recruiting fans from outside the state.
Choices made, held a hand through shifting sand.
Members of the group Honest Engine agree. Now is the time to move ahead, because now there's better music, not only from their band, but from all the others in the Salt Lake area.
Something in the water, people been praying, I don't know. It just suddenly, I guess everybody got serious about it.
Serious about making good music, serious about keeping the local scene moving forward.
Now love, it holds.
He may be Utah's best-known musician, Kurt Bestor, composer and performer. He also writes film scores and music for TV shows, like this theme song for Good Morning America. Kurt does it all, and he does it right here in Utah.
There's a very vibrant music scene in Utah right now. I've been here kind of from the start, and I've seen it grow from a group of interested college students in recording and so forth to an actual national prominent scene.
A scene Kurt says he's always wanted to be part of. He knows from experience home is where the heart is and where money can be made. Years ago, Bestor left Utah for another music market and discovered bigger isn't always better.
I kept coming back to Utah, and I look at the mountains, I talk to the people. The thing that attracts me here is the thing that attracts everybody else. It's the quality of life and the recreation and nature and so forth.
That quality of life is now attracting musicians from outside the state. Due to technical improvements, artists are able to make quality recordings here for a reasonable price. On this day, we caught up with Shane Jackman, who's recording a new record. And producing, none other than Sam Cardon. He's been part of Utah's music scene for years, doing everything from producing, composing, and playing. Lately, he's noticed a positive change in the quality of music coming out of Utah.
People who seem to know what they're doing and who have been involved long enough to be and experienced enough to where they really can compete on a national and worldwide level.
And that also means better music for fans right here at home.
They can go and pick up one of their local artists, supporting the local artist, and then they can, become familiar with them. They live in their own town and they go out and see them.
And they are. Peter Breinholt is pleasing fans here in a big way. Peter's newest CD is currently the #1 local seller.
More people are aware that local music is out there now than there were a couple of years ago because there's so many local bands. And so you get a lot more people coming to shows. A few years ago, it was harder, I think, to get people to come out and see local bands.
But not anymore. Local musicians are now packing them in at area performances, from places like Kingsbury Hall to various clubs around town.
The availability of venues has increased, so now you've got bands that have a place to play.
The bands have become much more professional around here. Over the past few years, it seems like.
No longer a weakling on the national music block, Utah's scene gets stronger every day. It's alive and well, and headed to a stage or record store near you. Scott McCain, News 4 Utah.